You, Iman, the suicide bomber, 22 years old, born in Manchester. How did these young people get radicalised?
Good morning. Basically, we need to be very realistic when dealing with this matter. You have a 22-year-old who gets radicalized over 2 or 3 sermons within a Friday mosque gathering. And the killer of Curtis Chang in Sydney was 15-year-old. And just on the 23rd of this month, 2 days ago, we had a 22-year-old female who is now being arrested, or was arrested, after having ties with ISIS in Adelaide. Now, this age is an age where someone would expect people to be going out, having fun. But no, we have a large number of youth that are being radicalized. This happens because of the books that we have, the Islamic scriptures that we have. They push the Muslim youth to believe that if you go out there and you kill the infidel, that's how you will gain paradise.
But they're listening to preachers, if you like, sermons, 2 or 3 sermons by clerics like yourself, radical clerics. What do you more moderate clerics do to out your compatriots who are turning these young Muslims?
Well, it is very hard being a peaceful, moderate person within a society that is infested by extremist Muslims. I will not deny this fact. We have a large number of Muslims that are extremists, even in Australia, and we see them when they come out in the Sydney riots, and we see them attacking the police.
So we're being infested by radical clerics here in Australia?
Yes, clerics and followers as well, and I've said this to many government authorities, and I'd like to show you something. I bought this 2 days ago from a shop within Melbourne. This is Al-Qaeda's flag. These are stickers that are being sold for a few dollars. They have them on their windscreens, they have them everywhere. Now, I know that these things can be obtained from anywhere, even online or even on the internet. But when you have stores openly selling these items with full audacity and creating this jihadi atmosphere for the youth to put on their cars, fully modified cars now, instead of having stickers. So you're saying,
do you believe our authorities should have more powers to get rid of these radical clerics and paraphernalia like that?
I think
we've got to get tougher.
I think our authorities have misunderstood the situation. They have good relationships with the Muslim community, but having good relationships with the Muslim community does not necessarily mean you have control over them and that you can prevent a lone wolf attack. Yep.
Jamal, you've constantly condemned many acts of terror. Do Muslim leaders have to be more vocal? The Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister yesterday were surprised that Muslim leaders were silent yesterday on this whole issue. Do you have to be more aggressive, or do you live in fear?
Look, we don't live in fear. We live in a very peaceful country. I don't know where the Imam got his information from. First of all, these scriptures existed for hundreds of years. They didn't incite for violence or terror act. It is an ideology of the so-called Islamic State and Daesh, and they are actually targeting the vulnerable young people, impressionable people. But we are Australian. Our Prime Minister has expressed the feeling of the nation, and that includes Australian Muslims. Our Grand Mufti only yesterday, our Grand Mufti have condemned this act. We have shouted from the rooftops our condemnation of these acts. Now, what more can we do? Only last
Jamal,
week...
Imam, you're shaking your head. Is there a disconnect between Muslim leaders?
I disagree. I disagree. We have a situation where there is a month doesn't go by without a terrorist attack happening somewhere around the world. And for the past 1,400 years, we have had a religion of war. That's exactly what we have had. This is not something I'm imagining. These are facts. We've had many wars. How did Islam spread from Saudi Arabia down to Indonesia and Bosnia? All spread by the sword. We had many wars. And for someone to come and say these Islamic scriptures have nothing to do with it, I mean, that's against the facts. That's not true. the Islamic scriptures is exactly what is pushing these people to behead the infidel. Let me tell you something, the people that are beheading, that the person that killed the young girls in Manchester did so believing he was going to dine with the Prophet Muhammad that very night. And that is because the Islamic scriptures...
That's not true. There is nothing... There is nothing in Islam that will justify...
Do not lie to the Australian nation.
Listen,
we have in our books the teachings
that will
of Ibn Taymiyyah teach to behead people and to kill and massacre people. You cannot sit there and lie to the Australian people. No, wait a second. I came here believing that you are a moderate person. Do not lie to the Australian public.